Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with another action figure review. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Time for AEW Dynamite on TNT. This is not the go-home show like I originally thought, that's next week, but Double or Nothing weekend is starting to look ridiculous with a fan fest announced and a special Friday night edition of Dynamite. But first, we have to recap and review this week's episode, so like the video and subscribe to the channel as we head into my custom dailies place. Now, let's take it over to the action figures. Taz joins commentary for the opening match as Christian Cage takes on Matt Seidel. This is used to hype up the Casino Battle Royale since both men are participants. It's a good match that ends when Christian gets his knees up during an attempted twisting senton, then nails the kill switch for the win. Taz yells at Christian from the commentary desk before Ricky Starks comes out in a fancy suit. I'm pretty sure he's injured, so he just cuts a promo and calls out the rest of Team Taz, who attack Cage and Seidel from behind. Hilariously, Hangman Page saunters out, hands his beer to a very confused Ricky, and hits the ring to beat up Hobbs and Cage all by himself. Until Hook takes out his knee, allowing the Machine to powerbomb Hangman and stand tall headed into their match at Double or Nothing. The Varsity Blondes cut a promo before their match against the Young Bucks later. Brian Pillman Jr. fires back, saying he only ever knew the dark side of the ring and stayed away from wrestling. But coincidentally, the Young Bucks, being good family men, brought him into the business. Now, he doesn't even recognize them anymore. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston also cut a promo. The only thing they know about the Acclaimed is that one of them is a rapper. Meanwhile, the Acclaimed just remind their opponents that they're ranked higher. I legit forgot that Moxley has new music, but thankfully he switched to the hard rock version of Wild Thing because it sounds so cool with the crowd singing along. Max Caster, on the other hand, does his usual diss track with a particularly devastating reference to Moxley's wife, Renee Paquette. Predictably, that gets Mox's blood boiling, so he and Eddie viciously attack before the bell. After a hard-hitting match, Anthony Bowens goes to use a chain, but the ref stops him. However, it's all a distraction while Max tries to use the boombox, but Moxley grabs it and nails the rapper instead. They hit a double paradigm shift to pick up the victory. Chris Jericho is discussing his injury with Dean Malenko when Alex Marvez asks whether the Inner Circle will accept the Pinnacle's challenge. He says everyone will just have to wait. Tony Schiavone is with All Ego Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. They grew up with Sting, but he isn't the man that he used to be, and they're not kids anymore. Sting's entrance distracts them long enough for Darby Allin to attack with his skateboard. You can tell he's still pissed off about losing his TNT title. The Icon sinks in the Scorpion Deathlock on Scorpio Sky, who only escapes in time for the Dark Order to chase him off. That brings up the question Alex Reynolds asked on Dark. Do they like Sting? It's time for another incredible promo by the Pinnacle. They're having a fancy dinner. Wardlow chugs a bottle of wine before Dax says that he's mad. They should be chasing titles, but instead they're stuck beating the Inner Circle over and over. Shawn Spears attacks the waiter for not refilling his glass fast enough, but Tully throws him some cash to take care of it. MJF says if Jericho and the Inner Circle accept the Stadium Stampede, it will be their last match. AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida takes on Britt Baker's assistant Rebel ahead of their match at Double or Nothing. Rebel fakes a leg injury to start, but Shida lays in some kicks anyway. She goes to use Britt's own submission hold, so the dentist grabs her title belt. The ref scolds her, while Rebel hits Shida with her crutch. It doesn't matter though, as the champ wins with a stretch muffler. Of course, Baker attacks afterwards and stomps Shida's face into the belt. Brandon Cutler's camera catches Kenny and Don Callis talking with Orange Cassidy in the trainer's room after his match last week. They attempt to get him to sign a legal document forfeiting his championship match at Double or Nothing due to injury, but guaranteeing him a shot down the road. Cassidy tears it in half without even looking at it. Kenny tries again as Don gives him another copy to sleep on. Here comes the Inner Circle with their response. Ortiz just wants to fight. Sammy's been ready for this match for a while, so he's in. Jake Hager doesn't want to be labeled a coward, plus he says bitch, so you know he's serious. Finally, Jericho expresses concern after the beating they took at Blood and Guts, and asks if it's still worth it, but concludes that it is, and they all yell yes in unison. Jade Cargill still hasn't made a decision, so smart Mark Sterling interrupts again to give the hard sell, but ironically that wasn't smart, and he gets told off. Next, Red Velvet challenges Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's Championship. Serena is so good, I don't know why WWE let her go. She fails to hit the Deeb Tox twice before going to work on the knee. That sets up a Serenity lock, and Red Velvet is forced to tap out. Pac was tired of getting robbed of opportunities in AEW, so he made his own and found his way into the triple threat main event at Double or Nothing. He asks Alex Marvez who would dare bet against the bastard. Austin Gunn, accompanied by Cody and Arn Anderson, gets set to take on the Governor, Anthony Ogogo, joined by the Factory. He attacks right at the bell to try and get the jump on Ogogo, but eventually he's shut down by 2 heavy shots to the gut, followed by a punch to the face that leads to referee stoppage. Anthony disrespects the American flag afterwards, almost setting off Cody. Following an emotional promo on Being the Elite, where Christopher Daniels confirmed that he's more or less retiring from the ring, he officially says goodbye to Frankie Kazarian. Because of the loss to the Young Bucks that caused their breakup, Kaz promises to hunt down the Elite one by one as retribution. The new TNT champion, Miro, thanks Jesus. Then, he says he's defending his title next week ahead of his match against Lance Archer at Double or Nothing. Speak of the Murder Hawk Monster, he comes out and reminds us how he fought Cody for the original TNT title, and he'll be damned if he's gonna lose that title again. He also says bitch, so this whole pay-per-view is starting to really sound serious. Miro tells Jake Roberts that if he lays a hand on him, there's not enough yoga in the world to save the snake's life. He ends by agreeing that everybody dies, but he insists that Archer goes first. Damn. Time for the main event, as the Young Bucks put their tag team titles on the line against the Varsity Blondes with their adorable new cheerleader, Julia Hart. She is such a great addition to their gimmick. It's a really good match that the Blondes actually control until Nick Jackson blinds Brian Pillman with some aerosol stuff. Matt tries to pull the same stunt, but Julia points it out to the ref. Then, while he's throwing that away, Matt sprays Julia with a third can. But his arrogance leads to a roll-up and a near fall. In the end, Matt sinks in the sharpshooter on Pillman, while Nick hits him with a facebuster to help encourage him to submit. While they celebrate, Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley sneak up from behind, sending Don Callis and Brandon Cutler scurrying. The Bucks turn around into a savage beating, then they both get choked out. In a final act of disrespect, Eddie and Mox steal their Dior sneakers. The rest of the card for Double or Nothing is announced as the show goes off the air. I hope you can see why I thought this was the go-home show. With all the build-up, it really does feel like Double or Nothing is this Sunday, not more than a week from now. Overall, I thought this was another awesome show. We got 2 solid championship matches, plus a Christian Cage match, and that fun Acclaimed match. And then there were the promos. From Eddie and Mox to the Pinnacle and Inner Circle, and most surprisingly, Miro and Lance Archer, I think that's where this episode shined brightest. My only criticism is the over-reliance on secondary, albeit canon, references, aka things from Dark and Being the Elite. A lot of fans don't have time to watch that stuff, so maybe AEW should refrain from including so much of it on their main show. Alright, that'll do it for AEW Dynamite on TNT. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I'll be back later this week with an unboxing video, and then again next Thursday with my action figure review of Dynamite. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my review of WWE Backlash, you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.